Hello everyone. Confidentiality in human services, the foundation of trust. Confidentiality is the cornerstone in the relationship between human service providers and their clients. It points to the professional responsibility one owes to clients for privacy, where personal details shared by them during the sessions are not leaked to unauthorized people. This commitment to confidentiality could assist the clients in feeling safe and respected, thus enabling open communication and the building of trust. Besides understanding the importance of confidentiality, human service professionals must communicate articulately the scope and limitations of confidentiality with their clients. When clients understand the boundaries of confidentiality, they are more likely to communicate freely, knowing that they are in a safe place to discuss sensitive issues. Professionals should keep in mind how much confidentiality they can promise, pointing out any circumstances under which their confidentiality may need to be limited. Texas guidelines on mandated reporting and confidentiality. Confidentiality in Texas is shortened by an overriding legal obligation, most particularly with respect to matters that relate to the well-being and safety of the vulnerable populations. Texas law requires professionals to report certain incidents or suspicion that may suggest danger to clients or others. This is known as mandated reporting, where in regard to reporting that could potentially prevent or intervene in abuse or neglect, the legal requirement overrides confidentiality. Any Texas human service profession must report suspicion of the occurrence of abuse, neglect, or exploitation to children, older adults, and people with disabilities. According to the Texas Family Code, a person who is convinced that a child has been abused or neglected must make the report within 48 hours. The failure to report such conditions may lead to punishment by law, including fine and imprisonment. These reporting mandates exist not to undermine the confidentiality but to protect those who cannot protect themselves. It is for this reason that the Texas DFPS enforces such laws to ensure that professionals contribute to making the world a safer place for children and other vulnerable groups, working with minors and issues of confidence. When dealing with minors, however, confidentiality becomes a bit more complicated. Although minors do have some right to privacy, Texas law usually mandates that professionals disclose information about the minor well-being to their parents or guardians, particularly in such instances when a minor is deemed a threat to safety, either to themselves or others. This definitely puts a human service profession in a catch-all kind of balancing act. The right of the minor to confidentiality must be weighed against parental rights and the ethical duty of the profession to protect. For instance, Texas minors may consent to certain health services such as mental health, counseling, or substance use treatment without the permission of a parent, provided they meet specific legal requirements. But practitioners, however, remain obligated to inform the minors about limits to confidentiality, particularly with regards to situations in which they would have to disclose information to protect the minor or to report under state laws. When working with minors, it is very important to establish a relationship in which minors can feel free to share personal information, but within the context of privacy, protection, and the limitation of confidentiality. There are legal requirements concerning one's duty to warn and duty to protect. One relevant principle in Texas is the duty to warn or duty to protect. These legal duties arise when a client makes a credible threat of harm to him or herself or another person. For example, if a client makes a direct and imminent threat against a clearly identified person, there might be a legal duty on the part of the profession to warn the intended victim or law enforcement. This would stop any injury occurring by intervening before the client who presents a danger of violence towards oneself or others does so. Although this requirement compromises confidentiality, compatibility with ethical obligation of taking care to protect clients and others from foreseeable harm is certain. Conclusion. In summary, this chapter of confidentiality in human services is a commitment to client trust, safety, and well-being. Professionals in Texas will need to balance this against the requirements of reporting from professionals, the needs of minors, and other legal obligations such as the duty to warn. Understanding and communicating these boundaries clearly with clients will enable the professionals to fulfill the ethical commitment to confidentiality while adhering to the legal requirements set out for protection of vulnerable individuals and the greater community. By embracing such news as a human service profession builds relationship with clients, sustains ethical standards, and stands in a compliance with state law on the protection of individual and the public well-being. Thank you for listening.